Here are 4 books that could have an impact on your life in 2024. It's great to always talk about investing and making money, but it's important also to look at successful people, understanding what they've done, so we have a clear path ahead for us. I've read a lot of books on a lot of different financial and professional subjects, but these books are the ones that had the greatest impact on me as a professional, as an investor, and as a parent. And I'm sure there might be 1 or 2 you haven't read yet. So now it's the good time to just relax, kick back, open a book, and get ready for 2024. So let's get started. It's one of Dave Ramsey's best books in my opinion. Baby Steps, Millionaires. I read the digital version, so that's why you have this superimposed image on my Kindle. Dave and his team put together 7 steps to bring everybody to a $1 million wealth. Not income, wealth. That's a very important point he's making in his book. And this is based on his decades and decades of teaching families how to put their finances together, as well as the Ramsey's National Study of Millionaires. Here are the 7 steps he is putting forward. Save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. Pay off all debt except mortgage. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. Invest 15% of your pre-tax household income into retirement investment. Saving for your children's college fund. Pay off your house early. Build wealth and give. The steps are not easy, whether you are number 1 or number 5, whether you're 25-year-old just graduated with a ton of student debt, or you are 35 and starting a family and wondering how to plan for your future. What really was appealing to me is that all those advice, all those steps are completely no-nonsense, very practical, and they don't shy away from the fact that they are difficult and they take time. But more importantly for me is that every step is literally illustrated with real-life example where people had real financial trouble, real family trouble, and just with sheer willpower, just by applying the steps day after day, weeks after weeks, years after years, they succeeded at getting all the way and putting their finances together. This is really an impressive book. This is a book that's going to give you a lot of energy, a lot of positive energy. So if there is a book about personal finance that you have to read first, this is the one. The Rich Dad Guide to Investing, again, a digital version. You all know Robert Kiyosaki's seminal book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You've all read the book. If not, you should. With this book, you are expected to have already read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Cash Flow Quadrant. Here we are talking about how rich people are investing, which is very different from middle class and lower class people. They basically concentrate on 3 different aspects: education, experience, and excessive cash. And he goes into detail with every one of them. Right mindset for investing, understanding how to reduce the risk, and learn the 7 basic rules of investing. Experience, so you can see the 3 key elements are mission, the T, the leadership, and the 5 business building blocks: product, legal, system, communication, and cash flow. Finally, the excess cash, 3 separate and distinct sources of income: the passive income from your hard assets, your portfolio income from your paper asset when you invest in the stock market, for example, and their earned income directly from their business. I really like this book series together with Dave Ramsey's because they are both very successful and very easy to understand personal finance educators, and they are helping people even though they have one point of difference, and this is how to use debt. The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell is another one of my favorite books to read and reread again. It sold over 2 million copies and it's considered one of the best books of the 21st century. It's been published 20 years ago, and if you look at the color of the pages, I've had it for at least that long. There's another version in the works supposedly for next year. So what is the tipping point? The tipping point is the moment of critical mass, the threshold, the boiling point where an idea, a social phenomenon goes from a small niche to mainstream and taking over the world. Malcolm Gladwell starts with a theory before going into case studies and real life application. So what does the theory tell us about? It starts with the law of the few. The law of the few basically relies on three types of people. First, the connectors, people who are able to go across different walks of life and connect very different people and spread ideas very easily. Then you have the mavens, who are like repository of information. They love to know, they love to share their information with everybody and spread across. Then you have the salesmen, who are very charismatic people who are able to have this gift of being great negotiator and able to talk to everybody and basically persuade you of a new idea and spread it around. Then there is the stickiness factor. What makes an idea memorable? When you hear about it, you immediately remember it because it sticks around. Then there is the power of context. How does an environment makes it perfect for an idea to spread around? Maybe it's a timing, maybe it's a social environment or a social construct that makes it easy to go around. Once he's done with the theory, he goes into case studies about sneakers, rumors, teen smoking epidemic, or the lowering of the crime rates in New York. And finally, he finishes with real-life application on how, after he published the book, it was used by academics, by teachers, or by real-life people to immediately put it into practice. As we are approaching 2024, it's a good book to read to understand our environment, to know if finally crypto is going to go mainstream, if AI is going to take over the world. Nobody knows, but at least with this book, you're going to have a better footing to understanding what makes something that's small go mainstream, and you can, after that, make up your mind. Smart Money, Smart Kids. This is a book for all of you, like me, who have kids and want them to understand about money so they are better equipped to go into the real world. It's written by Dave Ramsey and his daughter, Rachel Cruz, and they go back on how the Ramsey kids, like they call them, were brought up and how they got into learning about money in a very easy way with age-appropriate advice that changed from 4-5-year-old up to teenager and up to going to college. It concentrates on very simple things like why work matters, why you have to spend wisely, why saving is important, and why giving, having an open hand and helping others makes you a better person. And it basically works based on all the principles that Dave Ramsey used to teach families on how to manage their money. And they bring that and they make it age appropriate for kids. One of my favorite ones that I took from that book and I'm actually implementing with my own kids is the principle of envelopes. Envelopes is one of the principles of Dave Ramsey. You have an envelope for giving, an envelope for saving, an envelope for spending. And when the kids in the Ramsey family are getting their commission, because they don't get an allowance is you get money for doing nothing. You get a commission for doing your chores. That prepares you to understand that money doesn't come for free. You have to work for getting money. So that money comes back to the envelopes. And when the money arrives, first it goes into the giving envelope. And what has been put aside for giving is going to giving away, for charity or whatever it is in your household. Then the remaining two envelopes, whatever is left, is separated into two, going to the savings and going to the spending. You can spend for the little things you want now. And for the saving, you keep it for the long time to buy something so you have delayed gratification and you know how hard it is or how much work it takes to get what you want. It's a fantastic way to teach kids about money. It doesn't have to be draconian. It can be part of the play. There are a lot of very good examples in there, and I highly recommend reading this book to teach your kids about money in a fun way. Because as a parent, when you don't teach your kids to work, you are not being kind or gracious. You are being irresponsible. It's your responsibility to teach your kids about both money and work. It's not the school's responsibility. It's not the church's responsibility. It's your responsibility. Step up to the plate, the direction of your kids' lives. Whether or not they are motivated to go out and win starts with you. I hope these books picked up your interest. Never stop learning. Continue getting better and understanding the world we live in. Thank you so much for being here with me in 2023. I wish you and yours a wonderful 2024. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the new year. Bye!